Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's a little windy out here, so I apologize in advance. Although we live longer than our ancient ancestors, we have really short health spans here in this world. And what I mean by that is, before we get into my explanation, let me just say that health span and lifespan are different. Lifespan is how long an organism lives. A health span is how long that particular organism stays well before it gets sick. So you could be a 90-year-old person and you could, have a 90-year-old or 90-year lifespan, but only have a 50-year health span. You could turn 51 and get sick and struggle and suffer for 40 years of your life. So that's a really important thing to grasp, because although we live longer than our ancestors, we have, in my opinion, shorter health spans. There's more chronic problems, diabetes, cancers, heart disease. There's so many issues through the roof, mental disorders, you name it. So in my opinion, this is largely caused by the way that we live our lives. Unhealthy living, bad food, bad diet, poor sleep patterns, especially. If you look at the research of T.S. Wiley in her book, Lights Out, Sleep, Sugar, and Survival, it strongly appears that the modern light bulb is one of the most devastating health weapons against human health that was ever invented. And once the light bulb became cheap enough to mass produce, and once it became dependable enough to actually work consistently, because early light bulbs were incredibly expensive and they were also not very predictable. They weren't very consistent. They broke very easily. But once they became cost-effective, mass-produced, and dependable, and they got into the hands of most Americans. There's some wind here, you guys. Again, I apologize. Once the light bulb got into people's homes, they stayed up later, they suppressed melatonin, they ignored their body's sleep signals. Go to sleep, you're tired. People stayed up longer reading and doing this, that, and the other, and over a period of about 50 years, our health has gone downhill drastically. And light bulbs and lighting systems are just one of many assaults on our health. What about the gluten in the vegetable oils, you guys? So again, let's talk about health span and not just about lifespan, because you could live to be 100 and suffer for 50 years of that. Now, in my opinion, with some cutting, with breakthroughs in medicine and sanitation, we've been able to outlive our ancient ancestors. And those are great things. Sanitation, medicine, and certain things, penicillin, and this, that, and the other. But here's the thing. As we evolve technologically with medicine and things of that nature and sanitation, it's allowing us to live longer, but we're ignoring our health. We eat more shit now than we ever have. So what would happen, fucking wind, what would happen technically if we accepted the fact that modern medicine, parts of it are very beneficial, sanitation, you name it. If we accepted that, that's the case, and then took care of our health, how long could we live? I'm thinking we could at least start to see breakthroughs in lifespan to 120, 130 and beyond. I believe that we could live past 200 for sure. But here's the thing, we're taking advantage of some of the better aspects of this reality. Again, we live much cleaner than our ancient ancestors. We have plumbing, we have sanitation, etc. That's really what's allowed us to, in my opinion, live longer than them. But we're using these things, hygiene, which is great, but we're not coupling it with proper living. And statistics do not lie. More people eat shit now and stay up later than they ever have. If we reversed this issue and took advantage of the good aspects of medicine, and again, sanitation and plumbing and this, that, and the other, while eating properly and getting good rest, you guys, I'm thinking that we, in a very short amount of time, could be living, 100 would be kind of like the new 70, if you will. And there's people who live over 110 years old, folks. There's people who have lived over 120 years old. We've got to get our minds back on track, and we've got to learn the difference between health span and lifespan, because again, you can live to 100 and suffer for 30, 40, 50 years of that. Let's try to get health span and lifespan back on track by taking advantage of the good things of this world. Sanitation, plumbing, certain medicines, and a lot of people say, oh, everything's got to be natural, blah, blah, blah. There's certain medicines that have greatly helped our evolution, you guys. So I don't need to hear it. But let's take advantage of all these good aspects of this world. And on top of that, get our health right. And we will see our health span increase as well as our lifespan. Peace be with you.